Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today's day 3 of 3 days to become a self-care queen. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you. I've been in communication with some of you in Messenger. I've been sending the replays for all of you to watch. I will leave the replays until the end of the week for you guys to watch until you get to catch up with whatever you miss. I know that the weekdays are very busy for some of you. So if you need a few more days, I will leave the material a few more days up for you to catch them. And if you need anything at all or have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be happy to support you with that. Let me take a moment and tag this live to the top of the group so everybody can find it. As you come in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Tell me one thing that's been valuable for you to go over, to realize, to acknowledge, to become aware of in the last 2 days. Today we have the final day, official day of the training. And I'm committed that you become aware on what has been the impact and also you decide to do something about it. I know that coming to the lives is very nurturing, it's very inspiring. It's like a warm, fuzzy feeling to come and kind of, be together and do the meditation and talk about the things that make a difference. But ultimately, the transformation is in your actions, is in you not tolerating, continuing your life the way that is going. If you notice something is missing, and doing everything that it takes to put that in, like an ingredient in a recipe. If you're missing taking care of yourself, movement, nutrition, meditation, fun, maybe taking care of your finances, maybe a condition you have in your health or weight loss, what is it that you need to do to start taking care of yourself? And we're going to talk about a little bit more about what will you do or what will you do when this training is over to make sure that you continue committed to making that transformation. It's not going to be overnight. It doesn't take 3 days. It takes much longer. It takes a level of commitment, discipline, follow through, accountability that it will take much more than this 3 days. Sometimes, starting in the process, creating that consistency, a little bit of momentum synergy takes about 21 days. That's why my last training was 21 days because I wanted you to develop that consistency, tune in, connect, be aware of, notice all the things. And now that we know, then we have to really transform the behavior. Behavior transformation is going to be the thing that takes you from point A to point Z. And we can listen to all the insights and get super inspired and get nurtured and get ideas. But unless we change the actions, unless we put in place a new plan that we can keep up with and continuously do the things that we need, like eating right, exercising, meditating, doing fun things, creating a budget for your own well-being and your, financial wellness, all the things that you need to take care of, those things are not going to be by default dealt with. And many times they go unnoticed unless we stop for a second, check in, pay attention, become aware. And many times it's also being gentle with calling ourselves out instead of making ourselves wrong or beating ourselves up. Because interestingly enough, when we beat ourselves up and make ourselves wrong, we kind of get that behavior stuck. And to the extent that we can observe from a place of curiosity, being open, noticing, being aware, making a commitment to transform that which no longer works, release it, let it go, melt it, transform it, recreate it, reframe it, whatever the case might be, unless you make that commitment and you go through the process of transformation, insanity is what's going to be in place, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. So ultimately, my biggest commitment is that you make a transformation available for yourself and your life. And the way that things were going doesn't need to be the way that things continue. And for that, some of you might be able to just get inspired and go to do it. But in most cases, if you haven't done it up until now, you've been overwhelmed or uninspired or exhausted or unclear, or you needed a little pat in the back or a little support. Most likely, as you continue on, you will continue to need that extra oomph, that little bit of support, the community, the inspiration, the being able to see it possible and really celebrate it when you make the little progress, right? We do something, we stay consistent, and then we need to have our own celebration of our own dedication to it, and or have a community that celebrates our progress, celebrates our commitment, celebrates our victory that we all make, not just you. When we are together as a community, there's a vortex of transformation that is available. It's like a container of transformation. It's like a vortex that is created with everybody's contribution, journey, struggles, obstacles, challenges. And as we put forth the effort, the commitment, the consistency, the actions, that portal opens up the same opportunity for other people. So for the mere fact of being in this group of women that are committed to that transformation, to express your commitment, to declare and affirm that you're no longer going to continue the way you were coming up until starting this training, then that opens up for everybody else. It's like we hold space for ourselves, but when we are in a group setting, we also are holding space for everybody that's in the process, in the journey, in our environment, so that we all win, so that we all support each other and celebrate each other and are there for each other if we have a little bit of a struggle. We all are human beings. We're women, yeah, super women, a lot of us. But I call that syndrome of holding a red cape, like superwoman, is the red cape syndrome, which means that you hold this superwoman status for everybody to benefit from. You're overextended, you're multitasking, you're always worried about something else, leaving yourself behind, and that has a huge impact in your life. A lot of us have been born with this compassionate heart, with very empathetic qualities. We have a high level of feel, like we can be in a room and we can sense who's tired, who's hungry, who's irritated, who's negative, who's positive, because that sense of sensitivity is present to most women, but mostly the women that are very compassionate, heart-centered, empathetic. And so sometimes it's hard to separate from the expectations that people have, the things that we need, people that we think people want from us, and just a tendency to want to fulfill that need, that expectation, that unsaid thing that they need from us or expect from us. And so we have to start kind of setting boundaries, saying no in a polite manner, but really owning our power, not feeling bad about it, not feeling like you're selfish or it's wrong to say no, but really understanding that in order for you to have that best version available for others, you also have to have that version for yourself. So stop stretching yourself to the point that you burn yourself out. Stop catering to everybody else and bring the power in. It's almost like you're gathering your toys, you bring them back to your room instead of the toys being all around in the house. It's like a metaphor of being a kid and leaving your toys everywhere, and we want to gather all the toys, bring them in, have them close to us so that we can use them, we can enjoy them, we can entertain ourselves, and we're less worried about everybody else, what's going on out there, who is doing what and when. None of our business. We should be focusing on ourselves and starting with that self-care, starting with that prioritization. What's available is first feeling better, right? Like we feel better emotionally, physically. We're more hopeful. Life is lighter. We feel less tired. We have more energy. We're more positive. We're looking forward to things when we take care of ourselves. That's the first benefit you get, right? As a matter of fact, when you do that, when you start feeling better and you have more energy, it's easier to do the activities of self-care related with movement. So you have more energy because you've been sleeping better, you're eating better, now you add the movement. It's going to help you sleep. It's going to help you be more relaxed, grounded, centered, positive, hopeful. Those things are going to make a huge difference in you being able to put boundaries with people, expectations, pulls in all direction for our attention. People that expect, whether it is said or unsaid, expect you to be available for them. And many times those people will not be the kind of people that are available for us. So with withdrawing or bringing back our power and stop wasting it and or extending ourselves to the point that we give, and we don't allow ourselves to receive. Think of it like a fountain, right? There's water coming in and there's water coming out. There's water coming in, there's water coming out. If I don't have that self-care coming in for my own self-care, when I give energy, it's going to be from that water that never came in. So we're going to run out of water. The fountain is going to start malfunctioning. There's going to be dust. There's going to be kind of like malfunctioning of the flow of the water because I'm not giving any water for that to be flowing. And so basically it runs dry and I don't have anything left, which is a synonym of what happens to us. We burn ourselves out, we exhaust ourselves, we give up, we get cynical and resigned. Why? Because we've done a lot, not many times for ourselves, we do a lot for everybody else. And in the process, we tend to forget about ourselves. That is something that I realize that is most of my audience. I tend to attract the kind of women that are very committed, heart-centered, compassionate, empathetic, natural leaders. They have a big mission, but that mission many times is on hold. It's like the one thing you want to do maybe one day, someday, but you don't get to it because you have to deal with this, and then something like there is going to be the next thing, and after that you go to that, and then you come back to square one because you go back to the things that are always calling your attention, making you be occupied and preoccupied with their things, significant other and kids or household or elderly parents or obligations on your job or your business or your community or your religious organization, whatever it is that you're involved with is always going to be calling for your attention. So if you have a tendency of lacking self-care, that will continue to propel forward, become a vicious cycle. And unless you become aware and you stop, like I always say, and you might be in other trainings of mine, stop to become aware, not tolerating it, intercept, interrupt, change the direction. I'm not longer committed to go this way. This way has not worked for me. I'm exhausted. I'm burned out. I'm not sure how I'm going to continue functioning. I don't want to, all the things that show up when we're resisting, and make a decision to say, from now on, I'm going to put my self care in place and I'm not going to allow myself to feel selfish or that is the wrong thing to do. I'm actually going to know that the best version of me will be available as a matter of fact when I take care of myself. And if somebody has an issue with that, guess what? They're going to have to deal with it. What is common, and I tell you this from personal experience, is when you start taking care of yourself and there's people around you that start having issues with you taking care of yourself. They start pulling on your shirt or stomping on the floor or being more verbal or expressing expectations, disappointments, more requests than normal, constantly pulling your attention and really making it known that they're upset. Those are the people that have been a reason why we've been exhausted and drained and not really able to take care of ourselves. So what's required is a boundary. And boundaries, I like to think, instead of thinking of a wall or a separation from people, I like to think of the things that I want to give myself that nobody else can give me. Sometimes it's doing something fun. Sometimes it's resting. Sometimes it's buying something you really want. Sometimes it's taking that trip that you wanted to take and you've been worried about spending too much money. So giving myself what I need to, so nobody else is expected or has to, is how I define boundaries. So putting boundaries means that you make yourself your priority. You say yes to the things that you're meant to do. You say no kindly to the things that you're not meant to do, and you don't feel the need to apologize, over explain, or feel guilty about, or somebody saying XYZ can make you change your mind because you feel like you should do that, or it's wrong if you don't do it, or whatever the case might be. That sense of boundaries, prioritizing yourself and your self-care is key for you to be able to move forward in life. And yesterday we focused a lot on what is your mission? What is your passion? What is your purpose? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? And how would you want to be remembered? I would love to know, what do you think that is for you? Maybe there's a big mission that you want to accomplish, creating a fundraiser or creating a business, maybe creating some sort of a cause, like something that is a nonprofit for a cause that matters to you. I don't know what it is that you want to do, but we all have this thing that we always kind of kept in the back burner that we want to do when we have time, if we can, when we get around to it, and truly that thing never gets done. So the moment you start putting that self-care in place, well, what will become very clear is what are the things that you enjoy and how can you make the things that you enjoy the priority in your life? Because when you do that, you focus on the things that you enjoy and you do more of that during the day, every day, all the time, weekdays, weekends. That is how you find your purpose in life. Whatever you're meant to do is enjoyable, is effortless, is going to come your way and in your journey no matter what, whether you resist it or avoid it or you don't want to own up to it or whatever the case might be. That opportunity for you to fulfill your purpose will keep on coming. And sometimes we keep on banging ourselves in the wall because we haven't made the changes. We haven't decided to transform. We haven't had the courage to put the boundary. We don't dare to say no. We feel bad. We let people's expectations make us feel like we should do this or that for them, and we're a prisoner of people's expectations and what we should be doing, or feeling bad and guilty about not doing whatever people expect from us. Tell me if that is something that you deal with. I know that there's a whole lot of women that come to my training that truly resonate with that. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Let it be. Let it slide. Let it continue on its merry way and don't own up to it if it's not a description of who you are. But I know most of the women that tend to come to my trainings deal with that. Big missions, big passions, multi-passionate at times. They want their business, they want to make a living, they want to make a difference, they want to be there for everybody in their family and friends, but they tend to lack that self-care that allows them to fulfill their purpose because they keep on getting distracted. They keep on getting, deviated because there's other things they tend to instead of their own dream and desires. And so I focused for a period of time on helping women accomplish their dream. And I shared yesterday with you that there is a magazine, Forbes magazine, that did a study that confirmed that more than 50% of women give up their dream. And I think it's a function of unfulfilled expectations. Many times we are trying to fulfill expectations in society or in our home, in our family, little group of immediate family or distant family or group of people, right? Maybe it's from elderly parents or our kids or significant other or other family members that want us to help with XYZ. And we tend to kind of honor that and feel bad if we don't, because once again, we're shooting in ourselves. We feel like we should. We feel an obligation. We don't want to disappoint people. We don't want to say no. We feel guilty. All the things that never empower us empower other people. And let's continue on the next level of pushing, efforting, spreading yourself thin, over, achieving and doing for people what you cannot do for yourself. The next level of that is burnout. Sometimes it could be a mental breakdown. Sometimes it could be weight gain, stress, higher stress, a sense of lack of fulfillment. And so it is important that we set boundaries. It is important that we make a determination. It is important that we don't tolerate this vicious cycle that we observe from the outside and see happening, but we don't know how to intercept and interrupt. That you actually go right in there with courage and you make a declaration: this is not longer the way that I will continue from now on. Every time that this happens, that comes from my conditioning, my fear, my contracting, trying to force outcomes, withdraw, isolate myself, trying to control the outcome of things that is never possible. It all comes from the conditioning. So we have to step into our faith. We have to start increasing our level of confidence and caliber. That if there's something that we want to do, we're meant to do it. And all the other conversations that come up that, oh, I don't have the time, I don't know how to do it, I don't think this will work. What if people feel that this is a waste of my time? What is their opinion? What do they want me to do? We many times pull ourselves back and don't allow ourselves to fulfill which dream we have innately at the core level and in our heart. It's part of our soul mission. And we refrain it, we push it back, we isolate ourselves, we withdraw, we pretend that it's not there, but it will keep on coming back. And you will keep on looping with that vicious cycle. So it is time for us to become aware. Many times, self care or the lack of self care is what keeps us occupied, busy, spinning in wheels, vicious cycle, exhausted, drained, burned out, resigned, cynical, looping in that vicious cycle. We want to do this, but we're not doing it. Between what we say we want to do and what we're doing, there's a big gap. And there's no coherence with one and the other one. We say we want to do this, but this is what we're doing, completely different than what we say. So we have to bring our intention to be aligned. We have to declare what is the way we're going to go from now on. What are the things that we're not longer going to tolerate? And what are we going to do when those things from the past, the old version of me that was lacking boundaries, that was indecisive, that was people pleasing, that was catering to others or fulfilling expectations for other people's expectations, um, you know, we have to give that up. We have to release it, melt it, let it go, recreate, reframe, and really step into the new version of ourselves. So I want us to create a statement on who that new person is. What is the identity of that new person? What is the characteristic of that new person? What is you can think of it as the goal, the vision, the mission, the purpose. And we want to think of it like it's right now and in the moment, right? So create a declaration for yourself. It's a matter of you deciding and not tolerating going with by default vicious cycles that repeat, that disempower you, that make you feel lost, overwhelmed, exhausted, burned out, confused, resigned, cynical. And what are you going to do in order to step into the new version? And what is that description for the new version? I know that this year I determined myself to be direct, to be assertive, to be confident on myself, and really trust whatever innate calling that I receive. Sometimes we receive that little whisper behind our ear. It's a form of instinctual calling, and we resist it. We push it back. We act like it's not there. Sometimes we hear it really clear, but it scares us, so we don't act on it. It's time for us to step into the authentic self and take the courage and commit to discipline ourselves to follow through with those things that become a little voice behind the ear, indicating the path, indicating the journey, indicating the next step. Many times it's right in front of us, and fear keeps us occupied, distractions keep us occupied, guilt keep us occupied, expectations from others, lack of boundaries from ourselves, lack of clear communication, not being courageous to say no because we're feeling guilty or we have certain things that make us feel that we shouldn't be saying. Those are all the things all that noise, all that distraction that keep on pulling us back. And so I want you to think of who is that new version for you? Is it a better communicator? Is it somebody who asserts boundaries? Is it somebody who makes more requests? Is it somebody who says no? Is it somebody who caters to her own needs before anybody else? I want to hear a little bit of that for you because it's a matter of your creation and declaration. And what you say you're going to do is what's going to create. So share with me a little bit. I cannot see the comments as of now, but I will see them in a little bit. I've been talking, and my throat is getting dry. So I'll give you an opportunity to share, and I will go back to read what you share with me because I wanna read. Some of you have been in trainings with me before. Most of you got an opportunity to have a one-on-one session with me. We had a conversation about your dreams. We had a conversation about what stops you from getting there. We had a conversation on what you want to create next. And I want you to keep on building on those conversations if you had them with me before and had them. I'm going to invite you to make an appointment to have that kind of conversation on what is the next step for you. What is it that you want to create next? What is it that you want to commit to? What is it that you are creating as a matter of your declaration, decision, and, saying enough is enough? That nobody's going to distract you, that nobody's going to pull you back, that nobody is going to make you feel that you're obligated to do things. And of course, there's things that we have to do, especially as mothers or as daughters or as significant others. But that doesn't mean that we're always catering to everybody else. As long as we do the basic things that are expected from us, there should be some room for us to prioritize ourselves and our self-care. And so I want us to start talking about that now that we kind of had an opportunity to create what is the new version of you like. I want you to think of it and talk about it like it is in the present. I am confident, I'm assertive, I'm in communication, I'm empowered, I'm a natural leader, I'm daring, I'm courageous, I'm compassionate, I'm taking care of myself. What is it that you're going to do? Yeah. And then we're going to go into the material for day 3. Today is the last day officially. I think I'm going to do a bonus session at one point. I'm just not clear on what the topic is. So if you have suggestions, let me know. I would love to hear. We've been doing a meditation last week. So maybe we can do a meditation live in a bonus session. Maybe you can do a Zoom session for you to ask questions. I'm not sure. Let me think about that, but I will post it in the group, and at least one of the bonus sessions I'm going to create between now and the end of the week. All the material will remain in the group. And let's go into the material for day 3. I have it here, and it's all about movement. I want to talk to you a couple of things about movement. A lot of us women don't like to move. We don't like to exercise. We like moving. We like dancing maybe, but moving, like going to a gym and exercising is not something that everybody likes. Some of us might like it. I personally like moving. It's something that I need to do on a regular basis. And if I don't do it, I tend to get a little anxious or lazy or negative. It doesn't work for me to not do movement. But for many women, that is something that is a struggle, something that you're not really looking forward to do. You resist, you procrastinate about it, whatever the case might be. So when I started coaching women online, it was in the pandemic, when women were eating a lot, not exercising because gyms were closed, eating a lot due to anxiety and being locked up all day and being bored and being in a place of uncertainty or scared or whatever the case might be. Women specifically were eating more than they should and exercising less. So they started gaining weight. And so I started with the training inside of the Facebook group for Unstoppable Weight Loss for Women. And one of the things that I reframed out of all this kind of framework that I put together for them to lose weight was how we see exercise. I called it the magic of aligned movement. So what does that mean is that you're doing something you enjoy to the extent that you can. Some of us just don't like it at all. Moving is like not something you want to do. But out of the things that you could possibly do, think of the one that you dislike the least, right? So maybe you don't like weight training at the gym, but you can do a little swim at a pool. Or you don't like taking an aerobics class or running in a treadmill, but you like going for a yoga class or going for a walk in nature or taking a swim, whatever the case might be. Find the things that you enjoy doing. Those are the things that we want to think about. We don't want to think of the have tos, the shoulds, the how come I didn't do, beating ourselves up, making ourselves wrong, having a high level of expectation of perfection, never failing, never procrastinating, never missing a day of movement, just being gentle with ourselves and starting with one action. Find the one thing that you like, that you enjoy, that is pleasant for you to do, and that's what we're going to talk about, right? So the exercise for today says exercise for the joy of feeling your body move. I will add one more thing once I read this, but let's focus on the movement first for physical well-being. It says when you exercise to eliminate fat from your body and or to compensate for calories eaten, this can come from a place of fear and have an energy of trying to control, fight against your body. So imagine exercising for the joy of moving your body and from an intention to be loving to your body, a desire for it to be healthy and to have more energy. You notice how we reframe that from having to do, should do, how come I didn't, beating ourselves up, to really doing something that we enjoy, that makes us feel good, that is pleasant, that we can do just for the mere enjoyment of the movement versus having got to, obligated, how come I didn't do it, and all the other make wrongs that we tend to do for ourselves. So the clients I work with around this issue tend to be able to maintain an exercise program if they do it from a place of joy and self-love rather than control and fear about their weight. So notice if there are things in your life that you don't do for fear of people seeing your body, like swimming, dancing, or any other activity. Sometimes we don't wear skirts or we don't wear pants that are a certain way, like a short, or shirts that are short sleeve shirt because of the arms or whatever the case might be. Notice in what way that limits you. If you're somebody who's overweight or out of shape, sometimes we're flabby or we don't feel like we're optimal shape, and then we feel like we make ourselves wrong or embarrassed or shy away from being visible or whatever the case might be. So notice those things that you do to yourself if that resonates, and if it doesn't, just we're going to continue talking about other topics. It might not resonate with you. So remind yourself that you deserve to do the things you enjoy no matter what your shape is. So whether you're overweight or in shape or out of shape or too tall or too short or too ugly or too pretty or whatever the case might be, you deserve to move your body because it makes you feel good and helps you connect with your authentic self. It helps you release some of the significance, heaviness, density of life itself. And so doing it for that particular reason versus the should, the have to, and all the things that we've been talking about. And then let go of what other things think of you and stay focused on the fact that you have every right to do the things you enjoy. And so here we go. List the things that you will start doing that you have held yourself back from because of how you felt or how your body looked. And be honest with yourself and also be gentle. Don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself wrong. Just be honest and bring some compassion and gracefulness in that process, right? So tell me, what are the things that you enjoy doing? Swimming, dancing, jumping in a trampoline, bike ride, walking in nature, yoga. Some of you might do exercise with aerobic classes or weight training, any form of sports, basketball, volleyball, any of the sports, swimming, surfing, horseback riding, a lot of different things, right? Share with me what are the activities that you enjoy. And that is what we want to start with. We don't want to start with the things that we don't want to do. We don't want to go running to sign up in a gym if we know we're not going to make it to the gym. And so really understand what are the things that you enjoy and leaning more towards those activities versus anything else you feel you have to do, should do, feel bad about not doing, and so on and so on. So questions, comments, anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to reframe it. Go. Hear me? I don't. Give me feedback. Can you hear me now? Tell me one more time. Is there any sound? Can you guys hear me in and out? Okay. Or can you guys hear me okay? Sometimes the connection could be weak. Okay, great. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for letting me know. Is it constant or is it in and out? That is very interesting. Okay. Please give me feedback. I can see the comments now. I don't even know. Now you're audible. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, okay. All right, so I'm gonna come back a little bit. Thank you for giving me the feedback because now you can hear me and I can go back. Um, we were talking about the meditation and doing the meditation not because you have to or you should, but because you get to and to enjoy and to really shift, go through the process of shifting. Either being overwhelmed, being exhausted, lacking clarity, procrastinating, feeling hopeless, into being grounded, centered, hopeful, having like a moment to pause and gain a new perspective and reframe a situation, all those things. And yeah, I won't touch my earbuds. I don't know what is happening with Facebook, but my earbuds don't have a problem. I tell you that much. I do have brand new earbuds at this point, so hopefully we won't lose connection. I went back to explain um, what is it that we want to do the meditation, and that's something you will do between today and tomorrow. Now we're going to talk about what's going to happen between now on. I think that's where everybody started losing me. I was saying if you were to go back to your life after 3 days of gaining the insight, becoming aware, noticing, becoming 100% accountable with you haven't been able to take care of yourself, you haven't made it a priority, you have not done the things that you know to do to the extent that you know you can and upping. I was talking with one of the participants. She said, I'm good with self-care. I just want to up it, go up a notch. So if that's what you want to do, then what is the kind of support or accountability that you need? What is the kind of support or accountability you need to make self-care a constant priority. I know a community of like-minded beings that are together with us, help us, they carry us and inspire us. We feel celebrated, we feel like we belong, we feel that they have compassion, they help us overcome obstacles, they help us when we celebrate something to celebrate. And so that's a very good thing to have. A community of people that are committed with a common goal. So self-care, sometimes it has to do with health, sometimes it has to do with mental health, sometimes it's a combination of both. Sometimes it could be financial health, learning how to stand on your own and be 100% responsible for your finances without depending on significant others, family members, or anyone else. And so, what kind of support or accountability do you need? I know that if you're here and you're still hearing me and listening to me now, it's probably been a struggle. It's been a challenge. It's been something that you put on for a little bit and then you kind of lose track, or when you're too busy or people expect XYZ from you, you tend to give up on that and or get distracted or not have it as a priority, whatever the case might be. So we might need from the outside a reminder of that. So I tell you how I've done it when I was building my business. The only way I could put everything in place that I needed to put in place, my self-care, my activities, my commitment, moving forward, creating the structures I needed to create my business, was hiring a coach. So I share with you that I do have programs in where I hold your hand and accompany you in the journey. And before we complete the class today, I will put a link for you guys if you want to make an appointment to talk with me and see how will that look like. I'll be happy to have a conversation without obligation, without commitment, without expectation or anything of the like. Just creating a possibility for you, creating a new outcome, creating a new future. And if I think that it would be a good match for us to work together, I will make an invitation. And if it doesn't seem like it's the right time, I might not make an invitation, in which case I will give you some recommendations or resources that you can use to take yourself from point A to point B and be more empowered that when you join our training the last 3 days. And so, what kind of support? Get clear about what that is. I knew that I needed to be in a community. I knew I needed to have somebody hold me accountable and make me remember that I could do it. Because when I get overwhelmed, I feel resigned and cynical. I start losing confidence in myself, or I don't have the capacity to see something being possible. And so being in a community with a coach that looks at you for your capacity, your innate gifts, with what you're capable of doing, helps you expand into a bigger um, outcome or performance. And so that is what I make available. And for the people that are interested, what I'm going to do is I'll see if it lets me post it here. Yes, I will post a link here that allows you to make an appointment to talk with me about the programs. Anything you would like to talk about with me, I would love to talk with you. Like I said, there's no obligation, there's no commitment, there's no expectation. This is for us to create a new possibility to support you in the process of maybe letting something go or creating something new or releasing something that no longer works or just sharing the struggle that you've been going through. If there's something that really makes you spin in wheels and make you go into that vicious cycle and you feel like you want to share with somebody as a way to voice that opinion, that concern, that obstacle, that challenge, and commit to let it go, release it, transform it, no longer focus on it. That would be really helpful. And I will look at things. Yeah, feeling like I'm not alone, check-ins, reminders, people understand and respect my space and time, will give me space and time. All that stuff is what you have available in working with somebody long term. I cannot offer the kind of support and or resources that I offer for people in a long-term program, and what I see available for people is usually a tenth of what is going to end up being available for them. Because when you step into something and you take the courage and commit to it, and you believe you're worth it and you invest in yourself, what is available on the other side usually multiplies times 2, 3, 5, or 10. Every time we take a risk, we commit, we follow through, we make ourselves a priority, and confidently invest in something that's going to make a difference for ourselves. We always leap forward and we accomplish more so than what we ever imagined being possible. So that is what is available. And the way that I work with women is in groups. I work individually, depending on the kind of support that they need. So in the link that I just shared, you can go make an appointment free of charge, no obligation, no commitment, no expectation. It will be a conversation where we look at what are you trying to accomplish, what are the things that are stopping you, and how can you overcome that, creating a new possibility, a new outcome, a new future to live into so that you can step into the new version of you. Not the one that was there before, not the one that we're shedding, releasing, let go, melting, and not engaging with. It's the new that you're stepping into. 2.0 version of you, the up-leveled version of you, the one that is accountable, the one that is gentle, the one that is understanding, the one that has patience, that is willing to have grace, understanding, and compassion for your own self, and you believing that you're worth it and confidently stepping forward to invest in something that will make a difference. That is what I see available. Something that you want to accomplish could be possible in 6 months as a function of your commitment today. But many times we need a little support, we need a little push, we need a little reminder, we need somebody to tap us in our back or kind of push us forward. And that's something that most of us can benefit from, and not everybody's humble enough to acknowledge, or we believe that is not supposed to be that way. All human beings can benefit and create bigger things with accountability, reminders, support, inspiration, and community. And so that's a fact of life. Whether it is with me and my program or somebody else and or another group, I recommend that you get yourself in community with people that are like-minded women committed to the same outcome or similar, so that you can support each other and you can share the journey and the struggle and the celebration as well. Now that you are committed, this is question number 3. Now that you are committed, what will happen if you don't follow through with your plan? What will happen if you don't follow through with a self-care plan, with a movement, with a diet or nutrition, meditation, maybe start to say no more often, not feel bad about it, maybe being clear on where you're going and what you're not going to longer entertain? What is available for you? And what will happen if you don't follow through, right? We want to think of the good outcome. Imagine 6 months down the road, you get to wear that little piece of outfit, whatever it is, a skirt or a swimsuit or whatever, as a function of you having lost the weight, or let go of clutter in your room. Maybe find that job that you want, or find the partner that you want, or buy the house, or adopt a kid, or divorce the person, or move out of state, or improve a condition of your health that you have, or create a business based on your purpose and your passion and the legacy you want to leave behind. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish is available as a function of your declaration, desire, and commitment, as long as you follow through and have consistent actions. The problem is that it's easier said than done to be committed, consistent, and follow through. That's where we end up falling in the conditioned self. And if we don't have anything from the outside to call us back into the new possibility, the new future, the new version, the new costume, the new representation of who you are as a matter of possibility and declaration, we keep on going back to the old version. It's like putting the old shoe that is kind of comfortable when you put it on, but if you go to run a marathon, you're going to end up with maybe a hole in the bottom, some blisters, and a pain here or a pain there, because it's not the most optimal shoe. It's just what you're used to putting on. And so that's a metaphor on what happens when you keep on tolerating the same thing that is dysfunctional, that takes you to a vicious cycle, and you observe yourself from the outside, but you don't do anything to change the direction, to intercept, interrupt, and take it into a different route, a new direction, a new outcome, a new possibility, a new future. That is what we're looking at. Now that you're committed, what will happen if you don't follow through? The same thing will happen, right? We're going to stay in status quo, vicious cycle, repetition, and this is how it looks like. You try something out, you give it your all. Sometimes you do more than your own share of what you want to do, efforting, spreading yourself thin, trying hard. And then when you notice things are not working, then you start getting resigned, cynical, giving up, withdrawing, and not trying again for a while until something happens that calls you into being inspired again. You start pondering about that thing that you wanted to accomplish, and you maybe give it a try again. And you go through the process and you get inspired, and then you lose the momentum and you start falling out of being in that inspiration mode, and you get resigned and cynical. You give up and you isolate and withdraw, and then you get resigned and cynical and don't try again for a while until the vicious cycle repeats and repeats and repeats. So what would it look like to put everything in place and make a declaration to transform the things that no longer work, release, let go, melt, recreate, reframe, manifest a new version of you that is committed, that is clear, that is in action, that follows through, that sees what's possible and accomplishes the outcome that she wants to, as a matter of her declaration, along with the support of the group, me as a coach, or whoever you choose to, somebody that holds you accountable, holds your hand, check in with you, kind of tell you to keep on going, to not give up, acknowledges your efforts. And in that process is where we keep on kind of pulling ourselves forward versus giving up, getting resigned, cynical, getting out of the game and forgetting about it, and then having to try again from point zero again. So, how will you make sure that you follow through? That's a question you want to ask. It's a rhetorical question that you want to ask yourself. How would I make sure that I follow through? Um, it's a good question, right? You haven't followed through in many of those aspects. So if you now notice that there was a sense of lack or missing that structure and or accountability or consistency, how will you make sure that that is in place? I offer one resource which is working together long term, but you might have other resources you can tap into, and it's a matter of what you say is your way to move forward. What I want to warn you is tomorrow life will be the normal life you had prior to coming here. And most likely you're going to go back to the old patterns. So don't let those old patterns take over and kind of run you through the ringer. You have a certain level of awareness, understanding, and even responsibility that you do not want to tolerate going back to the same old ways of being without using these 3 days as something that, like a platform that pulls you into the next level of you. So that's what my commitment is, that every training that I offer kind of lets you up level, take a step forward or higher. And from there on, you kind of level up and say, okay, well, from there, I want to go here. And from here, I want to go there. And you kind of keep on getting better, transforming, recreating, reframing. That is the process of personal growth and transformation. That's what we as coaches hold you accountable to do so that you can transform, let go, create, manifest anything you want to in your life. But it is required that you have that support. It is required that you have that community and that accountability so that you can see it be possible and continue in the path of creating it alongside with everybody else that's in the process with you. It helps us move forward, it helps us get inspired, and it helps us feel like we belong and celebrate with other people when we're in that process together. So the last two steps, last step, actionable step is writing down in a journal prompt. How does it feel when I prioritize myself? I start working on my dreams and I get the support that I need to follow through. How does it feel when I prioritize myself, start working on my dreams, and getting the support that I need to follow through? It might very well be that you never had that happen because a lot of times we don't feel like we deserve it, or we feel like it's too much to spend money on, or we don't feel worth it about it. So we don't invest in ourselves. But if you were to have it, I want you to think of it like, what is it like when I prioritize myself, present tense? I start working on my dreams, present tense, and get the support that I need, present tense. How would it be like? I feel supported, I feel inspired, I'm in action, I feel hopeful, I feel energy, I feel relatedness, I feel in communication, I feel inspired. What is it like to have that kind of support and accountability and community be present? What would be the experience for you? And what would it be like to be down the road 6 months from now, having accomplished the thing you want to accomplish, whether it's weight loss or managing a diagnosis or buying a house or marrying the person or divorcing the person or getting the job or the promotion or creating your business? What is it that you want to accomplish is really up to you. What I do have is the framework, the Holistic Breakthrough Method framework that allows you to put all that in a structure, plug and play, and keep on going towards that direction versus going back to your life, getting distracted, overwhelmed, resigned, cynical, not being able to prioritize the things that you now know are required for you to get to your dreams. So sorry to be kind of like poignant on that, but really it's true. And I've been through that many different times, thinking I didn't need the support, I didn't need the accountability, didn't need the community. And guess what? When I look back at the times that I didn't have support, community, and accountability, things did not move as fast as I did. But now it's been 5 years I work with a coach. My business keeps on growing and more involved with my business, but yet getting the support that I need. And it's a function of allowing ourselves to be supported and getting what we need. Sometimes support and accountability is something that we need and appreciate, but we haven't really felt that we were worth, spending the money on or investing the money in. So if you have it and you're interested and you want to make a commitment, the last of the appointment, the last of the points in the homework is making an appointment to talk with me about long-term programs and the opportunity to work together, to hold you accountable, to support you, to check in with you, to have this community of like-minded, heart-centered, compassionate beings that are out to make a difference because they all have a big mission, and leaving all the distraction and all the overwhelm, the exhaustion and the burnout behind, to gain that clarity, move forward, and to continue going with consistency, commitment, and reaching the outcome that you're committed to. And so I have put the link in the comment section. I think that I put it already once. Let me see if I can put it again so you have it available. Go there and you can make the appointment for any time this week. I will be reaching out to you guys. This is going to be the completion of today's topic, but it's also the completion of the training. So let me know if there's any topics, anything that you think will make a difference in me offering as a bonus session, because I'm committed to offer that at least one bonus session. I will announce it between now and the weekend. The material will be available until the end of the week. I will be following up with you, providing links, asking for feedback, seeing how you're doing, checking on you, and making sure you're consuming the material. Because if you're here, it's because you wanted to make this commitment and take advantage of this training. And if you haven't yet, it's because the same things we've been talking about have been keeping you occupied, busy, and distracted. So my commitment is that everybody gets to benefit from this training. I will be following up with you. I will send the replay link, and the free session for the people that have been participating in the homework is Beth. Beth has been following through, showing up live or letting me know when she's not showing up, completing the homework. And it's not the first training that you are. You're always really committed to improving and releasing and empowering yourself. And for me, that's a big inspiration. And I always want to reward the commitment. So you want a free session with me? I'll be happy to offer it anytime this week. I know you are in the process of moving, so I'll be happy to book some time next week if that is the case. And I see that you're here. So congratulations, Beth. Thank you so much for all of you who have been participating in the training. This training will stay until the end of the week. I will think of options for bonus sessions. If you have suggestions, feel free to send them to me or post them here. Questions, comments, anything you want to share, I'm open to hear. And thank you so much, you guys, for being a part of this training. It's been an honor and a joy for me to offer it. Material is here. Take advantage of it. Let me know if there's anything I can provide. And have a beautiful rest of your night. I will be seeing you very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, the website is there twice because I don't know if everybody saw it, so it comes up again. It's the same website, no worries. Make an appointment now. I will see you sometime this week or next week. Thank you so much. Have a great night, you guys. Bye bye.